In this video, I'm going to show you how you can start playing Battle Pirates even if you've never played before or it's been years since you last played. Hey everyone, Derpy here, and welcome back to another Battle Pirates video. Or if it's your first one, welcome. I have just created a new account and played through the tutorial. There are a few things that it does show you, but most of them aren't really relevant anymore whatsoever. What you do need to know and what your first priority should be in Battle Pirates is this campaigns menu in the top right screen. There are several of the fancier ones with red icons here that are time-limited campaigns and may end up changing. You should pretty much ignore most of these for now, as well as the daily TLC, the daily campaign. It is really not what your focus is on. Your focus should be on these four at the bottom here. These four will allow you, in combination with a different event called the Forsaken Mission that runs almost every week, will allow you to get caught up in playing in Battle Pirates. The first thing you're going to do is activate Beginner's Treasure Trove and activate it. You can see you get a bunch of chests here, and we'll go over that when we actually finish this thing. And you can just use your brand new beginner fleet to complete this. The enemy is literally just one random enemy hull with no weapons on it whatsoever. Anything you have will complete this. Just go out here and you'll get sped up by years. You will also see that the base I started with had many turrets, etc. already in there. So you're not starting from scratch here, and you're not starting from Outpost 0 or Outpost 1. You're starting out from actually more like Outpost 10. There are still some buildings and upgrades you should do and should prioritize, all of which I will hopefully cover in a different video because this is going to be a series. But your first step is completing this Beginner's Treasure Trove TLC, which has one really weak enemy hull. Anything you have here, one ship will complete it perfectly fine. Now that this is complete, we're going to see that we have 6 chests popping up in this menu here and in the top right here. They're going to give you several great rewards, so let's go back to base and take a look at what we have here. The main thing you're going to get here, and the important thing, is a Praetorian fleet chest, and you will sometimes see random pop-ups like this. You can ignore those for now. The main thing you're going to get here is a Praetorian fleet chest. Now, the Praetorians are the entry-level Forsaken Mission hull. A year or 2 years from now, that might instead be a different garrison ship such as the Everest. Praetorians and Everest both share the same damage type and weapon sort of similarities, which again is a different topic for a different episode. But you just open all these chests and you get a whole bunch of ships and a whole bunch of prizes, which are great. And you also get a whole bunch of tokens there you just saw. Tokens are used to speed up different constructions and platforms, and you do get some more ships, etc. And this last one should have given you, I don't know what that last one actually gave you, but it gave you a whole bunch of blueprints like priority targeting, fire support platform X, some decent blueprints that are okay in some cases that are actually pretty useful that for various different players across the game. There's tons and tons of them that they have given you, so there's some really good entry base level ones, mostly used for your base defense, which is a different topic that we'll get into on a different day. Now, what you see here is that all these ships you have right now, they have health of about 220. That's completely redundant. You can pretty much scrap all of these. Instead, you have a whole bunch of random ships here. I'm going to sort them into the different groups of what they're used for. The first fleet is a garrison fleet. This is a Praetorian ship, and as you can see, just picking out a ship, it has, instead of 220 health, it has 51 million health. It's really good. You can see it's whole class garrison because it says it, and if you notice the weapons, they deal explosive damage and tend to have penetrative and explosive resist. We'll get into more of that later. But this is your garrison fleet. It's used to complete the Forsaken Mission. If instead you have a hull, a tier 9 hull such as the Everest for this, that's going to be that one, or when tier 10 comes out, if you're watching this a year or two from now, then you will have a different ship from here, but you will still have a garrison ship. Next up, we do have a base defense fleet. This includes things such as the Lurker, which is a submarine, 1 or 2 Gorgons, as well as a Houndmaster and a Carnage. All these hulls aren't very relevant for higher levels, but can be okay for lower levels. Let's just put this in your base defense really quickly, and you can mess around and move that around later. If you just want to put them in a decent position, I would put them around your island in the central area. The idea for base defense is that enemy ships are around the outside of your base and have to come through one narrow area concentrated with heavy fire, so I would put holes like that near there. The Carnage will actually move automatically as after your Houndmaster is dead, and then I would just throw your other ships here in the general aisle here just to do a little bit of work against potential defenders, although we will get into more base defense stuff in a future video. Now, the other ships you have here are just the This is your base attack fleet. This is your breacher dreadnought. It is your conqueror fleet. You're going to be able to use those against most lower level bases, and that's the great thing here. And that's all your random ships. And you may be wondering, what the hell do I use that for? Base defense, that's a future video. Conqueror fleet, that's a future video. Base attacking is future. Let's talk about the garrison fleet. You're going to launch this to map, and you're going to try to complete the Forsaken mission. If you see an icon right here, Forsaken mission, in the top left of the screen, click on it, find a target. If you don't and you see a red one that has a dragon symbol, that means it's raid week, and you don't want to do that at this point, because you don't have any fleets or tech to do it until you finish the step that I'm showing you here. What you're going to do now is you're going to find the targets icon on the Forsaken mission, and you're using Praetorians. You're going to find a target that you complete with Praetorians, click the lowest one out there, probably the 127, that should stay there for quite a while. Click the locator and find it, and it does take often a while to actually get out there, so you can relay move to the target if you want to, although that doesn't necessarily help speed things up. So now that you actually know you have to hit a 127, you can go find one just on the map scrolling around here. Depending on the exact event in the exact day, there may be other random targets out here, but you want to find a 127 to hit with a garrison. It's recommended a Praetorian fleet with a flagship, and it just has weaknesses to explosive, which is your ships, and is strong against its damage types that still your ship resists. So now that you found the 127, you're going to go out and you're going to hit it. You can just let your ships go on auto for this one, and it doesn't really matter too much here. And if you do want to know more advanced ways to hit the target, there are of course those out here. When you get in here, you'll see there's a ton of enemy ships, and imagine if you were starting with your one ship that had 50 armor, and now you have 51 million. It's an incredible difference. Now if you want to drive it, you could. I'm just going to let it auto and go through this thing, and I'll speed it up a little bit, and I'll be right back when that is over. Great, now that you have completed this target, you can see you got some points here which you can use to get prizes, as well as some damage that you did take. It is higher damage than most people are taking who built their own fleets, because Kixeye, their design ships aren't always the best, although this particular one actually isn't that bad. Just recall this, you can start this fixing. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go to the prizes, and you're going to start redeeming prizes. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the Forsaken mission. Hopefully they make it easier to work with, but what you should do is only focus for now on prize pool 1, and just get all of these different chests. These chests will give you, again, good fleets that you can use. And you can see it tells you contains a pre-built steel-plate silverfish ship for use with your silverfish fleet. And the silverfish one says complete the introduction to skirmish campaign with this thing, which is great. Basically, you get all the tier, in this example, tier 8 holes, and you're going to use those to get the tier 9 holes from the beginner campaigns. And I will be hopefully releasing videos going across all of those, just one run through, but you can always figure it out yourself. If you want to play the game and enjoy it and figure out how to do the targets yourself, you can do that. Let's just open up all these chests here, and you will get several different things. I'm clicking through them very, very quickly. And once you complete that, you can see that the different ships do have different ship types, hull classes. So if you look at this first fleet, this is your skirmish fleet, it's your silverfish fleet. It tends to deal concussive damage and is strong against explosive and concussive. Next up, you have your siege fleet, which is ballistic damage primarily and is strong against ballistic and radioactive. And then you have your assault fleet, which is really good with either missiles or scatterguns, that's penetrative or corrosive damage, and is also strong against penetrative or corrosive. There's no real pattern there, there's just what the things are. So you have these different ships, and you're going to be able to use them in these campaigns here, in the beginner campaigns. So go out and check them out here. It will tell you which one is required, and you can use those to go hit different targets, get a whole bunch of prizes here, and even tokens, build tokens to automatically build up your fleet, and you do even get another free fleet after that. So go out and hit those on your own, or stay tuned for the next video I make in this series, you going through each of these prize packs. So I hope you did enjoy this video. I know I said there's a lot of information coming in a future video because this thing would take hours and hours and hours to make if I made this all at once. If you are a brand new player and have a question for me, let me know in the comments below. If you are also a returning player, maybe watching this through and have tips, suggestions, things you think might be helpful for me to tell people, go ahead and leave a comment below too. In addition to this Battle Pirates Beginner's Guide, I also have a Battle Pirates Explained series, which I'll be revamping a little bit more, going through some various mechanics from an intermediate level rather than, say, a baseline or rather than an expert level here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like. And as always, this is Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate.